around this and the need to know now. But as Terry has indicated, this process that we have with the Community Outreach Working Group, the process that we have set up to come back to you, in the coming weeks it's going to be with specific workshops to go through, look at the blocks where your businesses are and go through and look at every single aspect. Loading zones, for example, in our parking methodology, at least as it's written up to this point, any displacement of a loading zone along the corridor gets replaced within the same block. So we're not going to just eliminate loading zones and then they're gone. There are certain parts of the parking methodology that require one-to-one replacement, and loading zone is one of them. So there's not going to be any forced, removal of a loading zone, which obviously would impact the businesses. So the other thing is that the business impact mitigation plan that we are in the process of developing and that we're going to be developing with your input and the input that we get from you after we have the workshop, so you can see the specifics about how the roadway alignment, the station location, all that is going to specifically impact the blocks where your businesses are. The design gets to a point where we can have the workshop for you. And then all of those outreach efforts and getting the input from you is going to help inform the mitigation plan. All right? So we're not going to go into construction for the major roadway improvements, all the stations, until the summer of 2015. That's going to give us a lot of time between now and then to engage with you repeatedly, so that you have a clear understanding of what's going on in your specific area, your specific block. And then,
Mr. Wilkins, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My alarm minutes 10:30. I want to hear Pat got an answer.
Oh, okay. I got a little bit of my answer, but I mean, you're talking about the block by block effort. That's what I'm asking about. That's what I'm saying. When? So when will you, be sitting down with the merchants on a particular block and going, over every little thing, loading zones and on each block in the East Lake neighborhood? So, I mean, really it's, kind of from 1st Avenue to 14th Avenue. The people, I think, that are mostly here are kind of this middle core. But that's what I want to know when. Because you're going to have to turn this stuff in a month and a half.
I understand, but that's what I'm talking about, the timing, Councilmember. So the mitigations that we...
Can I interrupt you? There's really two kinds of mitigations. One is to actually change the street design, or to actually change your 65% designs in a physical way, like to move parking spots or what have you. That's one kind of mitigation, and that's the first step that we're talking about.
Right.
The second thing is, if you cannot fix a problem in that manner, then you go to the other kind of business mitigation, which is how do you help a business survive even though they now have a less advantageous street design. So, and that's more what Ms. Dio from the city and other people at AC Transit are going to work on. And so for the merchants, there are these two different parts of it. But what I want to focus on is that first piece, which is to make sure you have sat down with them and explored in detail. Is there some little design change that could help eliminate the problem of lost parking or loading zones? So that's the part I would like to see have happen within the next 3 weeks, is you meeting with them on every block.
Okay. So it's timing. So as we go through working with our agency partners to develop the design effort, the design is going to go out for review. That's also the time that we can have enough information, right? We can have the specific details that would concern a business around parking and all these other issues, so that we can do these workshops. So when we when we distribute the 65% design, it's for review. It's not for finalization, okay? Because there's a whole, there's a mandatory process that we have to go through for during the review
Okay,
phase. So during the works, let me finish, because this is an important part to understand, and this answers your question. This is when we get the feedback that informs the design so the design can move forward. So the 65% isn't the be-all and end-all. So for example,
Well, in your resolution that goes to the city council, it is the be-all and end-all.
Thank you.
So-
no, that's okay.
Say this to AC Transit. If you come to the city council and want us to give you an unconditional approval to go forward at 65%, then then you better have it addressed at 65%. If, as I think Mr. Wilkins is saying, that 65% is just another point to have a conversation, well, the city council approval is going to be pushed out as well.
So you didn't let me finish. So there's a mandatory review process that we have with the 65% design plan.
I'm gonna give you 2 more minutes.
And that's where we get all the comments. So in that period, just like the agency partners design teams are making comments on the plans, the outreach team is going to be out getting comments from the merchant community through these workshops to inform that design. So the 65% that goes to city council is going to be the plan plus everybody's comments that's going to inform the design going forward. So you'll know at that point, that's the 65% that the city council gets. At that point, you'll be able to say, this was the plan. The plan is now with addressing all these comments from the merchants, from the city of Oakland, from Caltrans, from San Leandro on various aspects of the design. You'll be able to see very clearly that it satisfies the Oakland condition of approval, the San Leandro condition of approval, and all the state laws and rules and regs and all that. Then that's the 65% plan that goes forward. That's what the city council gets to see. You don't the one that we put forth in the beginning of April. Nobody's looked at that.
No, I get it. So what I hear you saying is that when the 65% plan comes to the city council, it will have incorporated all the comments and needs of every merchant in this room and a whole lot of others that are in this area. So I am looking at you to get that done before it comes to city council. And I also want to ask the merchants to work in good faith. I mean, if they come out and really, do what they're supposed to do and show you the plans, I hope you will work in good faith to try to come up with, whatever changes would really solve your problems. But I am just worried that it has taken so long for AC Transit to get down to the nitty-gritty instead of having these generalized meetings all over the place. So anyway, I'll stop and actually I have to leave.
I appreciate. I want to ask 2 questions. If they can't be answered with specific dates, then I don't answer them right now. When is the 65% design going to be entirely completed and ready for city council? I just need a date.
For the council, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometime this summer.
Okay, so by when will you come back out and meet with each business individually to get their input on this plan?
Hopefully by the middle of next month, we should be able to start having these workshops, if not sooner than that.
So you're going to come out and meet with each business individually starting in the middle of next
No,
month?
that's not what it said. We are going to, and in keeping
That's what she asked.
with the good, she asked if we would engage the businesses block by block. We will do that. We can do that. We can have workshops and figure out how to get the maximum penetration of the businesses to get their input. I think it's premature to say that means having how we do that. But the goal is to make that happen. But I just want to make sure that when you say go block the block and talk to every business individually, may not be the most effective way to get input for the plan. But we need to figure out how to do that.
You guys
We're
already,
committed to make that
that's
happen.
right, I appreciate that. You guys already committed earlier that you were going to meet with a group with us to design the mitigations overall. So appreciate that commitment. We're going to follow up with you on that. Looks like we're not able to get a date of by when you will come out and go block by block. Is that correct?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you so much.
Hold on, we're not done yet. So is that right? Is that right? We're not able to get a date of when you're going to come out and talk to businesses about block by block what's happening?
We will come back to you with a schedule.
All right. So let me just say, so thank you very much for the commitments we did get from you. Let me just say a couple things just so that we're clear for the record. The businesses that raised concerns about the loss of the middle lane were San Antonio businesses where the middle lanes, two lanes are lost. The other thing about the loading zones, you guys we need to be real clear on the loading zone issue. It's not about existing loading zones. It is about businesses who are entirely dependent on using the existing right-hand lane to come and for delivery and pickup. All right, and that's what Mr. Romero was talking about, just to be clear that that's what the issues are. Final thing I'll say, of those businesses that Ms. Kernahan referenced in San Antonio, that we came out and we did, and it's true, we did do some engagement. Haven't seen it codified in any drawings or any written thing, but we did some engagement, sort of figured out some solutions for about 10 out of the 13 businesses right at that stop where they're going to lose parking. Of the remaining 3, 2 are shut down. 1 is currently a suspected illegal marijuana grow. So that's where our question comes. Vianey, do you want to ask this?
Yeah, in the previous meetings, there was a concern about what will happen if this project goes forward and business lose money. Would the city or AC Transit be able to fund, help the businesses with the loss?
Pat was here.
That's
Yeah.
probably Ms. Gaio might be able to
Yeah.
respond.
She left.
So that's my main concern, and I know it's most of the concern, that most likely we will lose business, and if is there going to be any way that you guys will be able to help us?
Funding compensation. And also my question hasn't been addressed too, that I would like to see if
Can I kind of
consult
clarify
the
something from a business person standpoint? AC's mandate is to transport people.
Yes.
Their business is not helping us businesses.